Janelle Melton, 33 years old, resided in Neptune City, New Jersey in 2009. She resided in an apartment building called Brighton Arms. At Red Bank Middle School in New Jersey, Janelle taught social studies. She knew how to engage her students in history because she was passionate about it. Janelle still hadn't arrived at the school at 8 a.m. on September 14, 2009. It was a significant day since she had scheduled a special guest speaker for her students. Michael Melton, Janelle's ex-husband, had been instructed by the school secretary to go check on her at her apartment. He claimed that he used to lightly flirt with Janelle before she met Michael after college. In August 2003, after a year of dating, they were married in Jamaica. At Red Bank Middle School, they both started teaching. For about 3 years, the marriage worked well. Michael claimed he wasn't accustomed to receiving such showered love or having someone care for him so deeply. He had founded a basketball firm and frequently traveled. In the end, Michael requested a divorce. Janelle learned to appreciate her independence. The two of them continued to be friendly and spoke on the phone daily. Michael was informed by the school secretary over the phone that Janelle had not arrived for work. He started his car and headed to her residence. In the driveway, he noticed Janelle's car. He yelled her name as soon as he entered the home. She was on the floor as he entered her bedroom. Michael noticed what appeared to be blood on the nightgown Janelle was wearing. He thought she had fallen when she was putting on her makeup. Invoking 911, he did. Michael recalled asking Janelle what she had been up to. He reasoned that she might have hurt herself since she was unable to cope with the separation. Around 9:30 am, the ambulances arrived at Janelle's residence. They realized she wasn't alive anymore right away. Investigators discovered that Janelle had endured beatings and other forms of torture over time, perhaps in an effort to get information from her. She had suffered 5 stab wounds, as well as 2 headshots. Janelle's jaw was shattered in 2 places due to the severity of the beating she received. Due to the savagery of using the kitchen window as the site of entry, investigators assumed that at least 2 persons were accountable. Inside the flat, a footprint could be seen on the chair next to the window. The kitchen had been emptied out. Someone had opened the drawers and looked like they were going through the cereal boxes. It is believed that Janelle's life was taken on the night of September 13. Within her bedroom, investigators discovered a tattered piece of duct tape that was likely used for binding. Near Janelle's body, latex gloves and duct tape with blood on them were discovered. The proof was gathered and put away so it could be used in the future. Since Michael was the one who discovered her body first, he was questioned by the police. Police first made an effort to learn as much as they could about his relationships with Janelle. Michael said that they continued to have sexual encounters on occasion. The cops, he claimed, needed as much information as they could get. Therefore, he believed the questioning were intentionally evasive. Michael claimed that on the evening that Janelle was killed, he was out with a buddy. His alibi was investigated. Michael's friend was interviewed by the police. The night of the crime, according to his phone records, he was not anywhere close to Janelle's residence. Michael agreed to a DNA swab as well. A newspaper story came out 2 days after Janelle slayed. According to the story, Janelle's dead body was discovered in her home, and Michael was her estranged husband. Michael became aware that some people believed he was to blame for her death after reading in the article that the divorce was scheduled to be finalized on October 6. As per Michael, everyone turned against him. He was thought to be accountable by Janelle's family, as well as by their coworkers. A lawyer was Michael's friend. He promised to represent him without charge. He was instructed not to talk with anyone. Michael saw a notice on his desk when he got back to work, stating that he was no longer allowed to teach or interact with students. Michael and his attorney met with the administrators of the school. While the investigation was ongoing, it was advised that he take a desk job. The DNA from the duct tape was returned on November 10, 2009, 2 months after Janelle's body was discovered. There was DNA from Michael on the duct tape. The blood that was left behind had Janelle's DNA, which was also discovered on it. Janelle was attacked while duct taped to a chair, according to the investigation. When he discovered Janelle, Michael claimed that the tape was stuck to his shoe, so to get it off, he used his hands, and for that reason, it had his DNA on it. Michael turned to booze and even considered suicide after realizing that no one thought he was innocent. DNA was also discovered on the pink lighter, but sadly the results were inconclusive. The material was sent to the medical examiner's office in New York City for further examination. Even a few months after Janelle's murder, police were receiving new leads. One of the neighbors said he heard a big noise. The noise woke up her dog, the owner of the home stated. Near the unit, a tall black male who did not reside in the building was seen acting strangely. The fact that these neighbors had withheld this knowledge for so long infuriated a lot of individuals close to Janelle. 3 years after the incident, on December 3, 2012, the authorities discovered they had a DNA match from the lighter. It was traced back to Blood's gang member Gregory John Baptist. The cops then questioned him. According to Baptist, he has never met Janelle and has never been to her residence. Baptist refused to make any confessions, thus the police were forced to question him in circles. He stopped talking after 27 minutes. Michael asked a trusted friend to defend him. The friend went outside to talk to locals. In fact, the friend learned something important, and Michael informed authorities of what he had heard. A narcotics dealer named David James, sometimes known as Munch, was reportedly wanted by gang members. Janelle and David were neighbors. There was talk that David stashed away $15,000 in a freezer. His girlfriend overheard a group of partygoers discussing narcotics. They arrived at the wrong apartment under the impression that Janelle was David's girlfriend. Then, detectives started looking for anyone who would talk. A source finally provided them with 3 names. They had a 4th person, a female getaway driver. The males were identified as Jerry Spalding, Gregory John Baptist, and Ebenezer Bird. They were all members of the Bloods gang. Later, it was discovered that the woman was none other than Ebenezer Bird's former girlfriend, Elizabeth Pinto. Elizabeth Pinto was identified as the getaway driver on December 1 of 2015 by a woman by the name of Nerica Scott. Ebenezer Bird had been dating Nerica at the time. When she overheard his confession during one of their visits to the prison, she went to the police. The cops could tell that she had been terrified to come forward. We spoke with Elizabeth Pinto. She also feared speaking. Finally, she acknowledged that she was the getaway driver and stated that Janelle deserved justice. She claimed that the 3 males, who were all clothed in black, directed her where to drive. When Pinto was shown pictures of all 3 guys, she was able to name each one of them. She admitted that she had no idea where she was going. She agreed to provide the location where she had left them. She consented to testify against all 3 guys and admitted guilt to conspiracy. Additionally, Pinto was able to inform the authorities that all 3 males had donned latex gloves. Pinto dropped them off close by while observing them cross the street to the apartment. The 3 guys were each charged with murdering Janelle, second-degree robbery, conspiracy, and possession of illegal weapons on March 23, 2016. All of them kept their innocence. On January 17, 2019, the trial began, and Elizabeth Pinto would become the prosecution's star witness. The defense tried to convince the jury that Michael was really to blame. According to the defense, there was still a ton of untested evidence. Prosecutors thought Janelle was alone at home. The 3 males were all present when Elizabeth Pinto visited Bird's mother's house on September 13, 2009. They asked her to drive them over to the apartments at the Brighton Arms. Baptist came in through the window and dropped his lighter on the floor. He then allowed the others to enter by sliding open the door. Janelle was in her room. They taked her to the chair before the attack. They discovered they were in the wrong apartment while looking for cash and narcotics. They probably shot Janelle so she wouldn't recognize them. The 3 males were found at Janelle's residence according to their phone records. They were all convicted of murdering Janelle and of robbery, conspiracy, and using weapons. James Fair, a 4th guy, was also convicted of conspiring to commit burglary. He was the one who had first made the announcement that David stored his money in a freezer. They were all given life sentences in prison. Elizabeth Pinto admitted guilt and received probation after being charged with conspiracy. Judge Joseph W. Oxley of the Superior Court declared that their 28-year crime spree was over. James Fair is currently completing an 82-year sentence for unrelated offenses. Connie Sadler, one of Melton's sisters, spoke to the judge about the victim's commitment to her line of work and her students. Connie claimed that Janelle made teaching her purpose rather than just her profession. Janelle, in my opinion, was aware that God had called her to be a teacher. More than just academic inspiration was what Janelle aimed to achieve. In their hearts and lives, she hoped to have a significant and enduring impression. The three males committed an evil and diabolical act against her sister, according to Connie. Nevertheless, she said, I know Janelle is a Christian, and I know she would want me to forgive them. I pray for them. I also ask God to have mercy on them. But every decision has an impact. Michael Melton sought treatment and is now concentrating on his basketball spotlight business. He claimed that after learning the truth about what actually happened to Janelle, a portion of him felt relieved since he realized it was not him who had caused her to suffer. The other half is deeply distressed since she lost her life for a little bit of cash. My life is really not about me anymore, he said. It's about serving the community and making an effort to save lives. I get my motivation and sense of tranquility from that every day. I was given another chance, so I must make the most of this opportunity.